Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Monday, September 25th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the Student Tully Lively Boardroom of the 1887 building. And I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call vote, please. Or roll call, please. Yeah.
Mr. Andre.
Here.
Mr. Gayhart.
Here.
Mr. Gaffney.
Here.
Mrs. Ingersoll.
Here.
Mrs. Reckles.
Here. Mr.
Scarrow.
Here.
Mr. Barkas.
Here.
And we'll note that Mr. Forster is excused.
Hey, Jason, you're
Your computer is telling you.
Oh.
Let's pick a different time than now.
that would have been terrible.
All right.
Well, we do have a quorum, and the meeting has been noticed per state statutes. The next portion is our community participation. Is there anybody who wanted to publicly say anything? Okay. I'm just going to quickly read the community participation. We would ask that you remind you that you are speaking during the community participation and to complete the sign-in sheet by the door if you have not already. The community participation period is an important time for the Board of Education to hear concerns, gratitude, etc. of its constituents. That said, prior to making a statement, please be aware that each speaker bears the personal risk if anything they say during community participation of the school board meeting is defamatory, slanderous, or otherwise harmful to another individual. You have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Ellen Holly, W51081 Wega Drive, Elkhorn. Yes, I'm a resident. I just wanted to do a shout out to Mr. Tadlock and also to Mr. Trottier. I was invited earlier today to go to the Affordable Housing Summit at the Abbey. And when I walked in, I was astounded at how many people were there and how many different community groups, industry groups, private contractors were there, all with the idea of a healthy community has housing options that people can afford to live in. Mr. Tadlock did a really nice job at tying in school enrollment and how 20% of our enrollment is open enrollment. I believe that's what you'd said. And about 65% of those that were polled would like to live in Elkhorn. There's just not a lot of affordable housing. There's not even a lot of unaffordable housing. Someone made the comment about if the baby boomers would move out. I said, I would love to sell my house. I have nowhere to go. So it was a really interesting situation. So I just wanted to thank you for coming. Mr. Anzalone was there as well, but it was really interesting to go and look through a little bit different lens. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you.
And everybody sign in because that's policy.
Is there anybody else that wanted to speak? Okay. All right, we're going to start with our Avid overnight travel request.
Thanks so much for giving us your time today.
Yeah.
We're gonna review kind of just the Avid elective first, and then we have our proposal, and then we can bring some students to speak today. So I'm Marie Barnhart. I am an Avid elective teacher and site coordinator at the high school.
I'm Laura Griswold. I'm also an Avid elective teacher and site coordinator.
How do I get it to do like the presentation?
Down in the lower right, if you can hit the 2 arrows. Yeah, and there'll be like some embedded links I'll have to have you click on if you don't mind.
You bet.
So Avid's mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and readiness and success in a global society. So you guys, I think you're familiar with the school-wide piece, the elective piece. So we're just kind of give you an overview of the elective today. Sorry, maybe Canva was a bad choice.
I just have to stay here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, I already spoiled that slide. So this is kind of an overview of how our program has grown. So we started in 2015, 2016. We just had Avid 9 and 10 at the high school. And then we grew to the middle school, and then we became an Avid district. And then the middle school was recognized as a national demo school in 2021. And then the high school followed the next year. So just our program has really grown. We're up to 242 students in the elective between grade 7 and 12.
So we kind of went through the steps of how we identify students for the Avid elective at the high school. The first step is that we review some of the standardized test scores. And the goal is to pick out those students who kind of fall academically in the middle of their class. So between the 30 to 70% range, we look at math and reading scores from 7th and 8th grade. So we take a look at that, and then Avid elective teachers and current Avid students go to the middle school and meet with students that have been identified. And so we bring some of our high school Avid elective students and we talk about the program, answer questions they might have just to give them a feel for what it is. And maybe even for some students, how it might be different from the middle school program, because there might be some kids who have been in the elective at the middle school. And then after that, we send home to the students and their parents or guardians some information about the program. We have a video with some more details so that parents can understand what it's all about. And then after that, the students are invited to an interview. So the Avid elective teachers and some of the counselors from the high school, and I think even some middle school ones, right? Help to conduct the interviews with the students to get a feel for whether the students feel like it would be a fit, and for us to give them information about what happens in the program.
So on top of the school-wide supports that all the kids get, in the Avid elective, they're exposed to different opportunities post high school, so they can figure out what path they want to be on and how to get there. We work on organization, time management, just all those skills that they're going to need to be successful in whatever it is they choose to do when they leave. We also get them involved in community service and try to stress how important that is. And it sounds really cheesy, but they do become a little family unit, and they really support each other and help each other throughout their 4 years. And so they have a lot of, they can turn to their peers, they can turn to the tutors, to us, so a lot of support in the elective. So a typical week, we do have curriculum that we work through, and that includes our WICR, so writing, inquiry, collaboration, organization, and reading. On top of that, it's that, career exploration, and we work on public speaking, leadership, and community service, like kind of really working on them as a whole person. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do run tutorials, so they come with a question that they have from another class, and they'll work with a small group of their peers. The peers ask them questions to help them figure out, what they're stuck on. So that's just there's a lot of skills they learn in that are lifelong skills. So we do that every Tuesday, Thursday, and then we also work in like I said, our college and career exploration. We take them on a field trip. We bring in guest speakers, do different team building and motivational activities, just things like that. So this is kind of just an idea of how the program progresses 9th through 12th. So the 9th grade, we're really focusing on that transition from the middle school to the high school, because it's, figuring out how all that works. Building the foundation, so really working on their note-taking skills, their organizational skills, and their time management skills. And then they learn the tutorial process. Like all of that is kind of a heavy lift for them right away, because it's changing the way that they do school potentially. They start getting into that college and career research, and you'll see that is in all 4 years. They do get to go on a college visit. We're going to WCTC actually in October. And then there's community service opportunities. So 10th grade, now that they've got that foundation, we up our game and we work a lot more on our writing. We start to build some ACT vocabulary. Still working on those leadership skills, trying to push them, like, now you're involved in stuff in school. How can you take on a leadership role and those things that you're involved in? And then they also go on a college visit. We are going to Parkside in October with them.
In the 11th grade elective, they prepare for the ACT. We help them set goals, and so they can look at how they did with the practice tests in the fall and set some goals and use those in their preparation for when the test happens in the spring. We work on kind of developing those leadership skills a little bit more, and then they dive more into their college and career research, kind of moving on to those next steps of what do they really want to focus on, investigating where their interests lie, This is the year that we offer the overnight college field trip that we came to talk about today. So they're able to visit multiple schools, which I think is hugely important for a student to get onto a campus, for them to feel like the size of a campus, what it's like, what a technical school could be like. And so they do that. During their junior year Avid elective, they also try to narrow down some choices about schools. They write at least one or fill out at least one college application, even if it's just as a practice. They write a college essay. And we also have a job shadow event that we host for a junior elective, which I think the kids find really valuable. A lot of them either reinforce what they thought they were interested in or get an idea about whether, maybe that wasn't for me and I'm going to try something else. And then in the 12th grade Avid elective is really where they are using that time to prepare what they need for after college. And so they're applying for colleges. They might be applying for not just four-year colleges, but technical schools, maybe even cosmetology programs. I have some kids who do that. Kids might be doing some training for a career. They learn how to fill out the financial aid form. They work on community service and leadership skills. They really practice their scheduling and time management, and then how they're going to kind of stay healthy and deal with that stress after high school, whether it's on the job or in college, so that they have kind of a healthy balance in their life.
And then once they do get into college, the data shows, I didn't put all the numbers up there, but yeah, if you go to their website, they've got all sorts of national and state data. Just that if they've gone through the Avid program, they're more on track to graduate, they're more well prepared, and most likely going to stay in school longer because they have the skills. So just some pictures so you can see kind of those are our tutorials and collaborative study groups on the left. So it really is very student driven. They love them. They start to realize why they're helpful. They maybe don't always love it, but it's a great skill to learn because then, when they get, into the real world and they have a problem, they know how to sit down and ask questions and solve it. And then we just had some community service pictures on the right. Last year, we partnered with Children's Hospital to do a couple different projects, and the kids really enjoy that too. It feels good to help out and give back. And then the college visits, which again is why we are here. So these are just some pictures from last year. And then if you click on the little college visit link there, it'll pull up our proposal for that. So we're looking to take our kids to 4 different schools, so 2 each day. We would start in Platteville and then go to UW-Madison. And then the next day we would go to Madison Area Technical College and then finish up at Whitewater. And that's like our itinerary is linked there. I mean, it has literally everything we're doing from the moment we leave to the moment we return, which you probably don't need to look at all that. But if you want to, it's there. There's 25 kids that would be going, 3 chaperones, and then the cost of students is $0. So could you, Jason, click on the cost of students link there? We are doing some fundraising. So we just parked cars for the flea market this last Sunday and made a decent amount from that. And then we're selling Milwaukee pretzels in October. So for a couple of weeks, kids will be selling that. So just to kind of offset the cost and help out with that. So that's our whole projected budget for everything. So you can see the fundraising's on there too. So really, and what these kids are going to talk about too is the benefit that comes with it. So just like Laura talked about, seeing a variety of schools, getting, larger campuses, smaller campuses, urban, rural, that whole deal, so you can compare them. And when you do them all right in a row, it's a lot easier to compare and think about that. They get to hear about the different programs that schools offer, stuff that they maybe weren't aware of. It gets them really talking about their post-secondary options and excited about it. They start to understand the costs associated, and that's always good to think about as well. And then it just really does strengthen that bond so that for the rest of their junior year and senior year, when things are tough and they're really starting to make the big decisions, they can lean on each other too, because they've really bonded and kind of grown that family. So without further ado, we really should hear from them, right? Come on. You're the ones they want to hear from anyway. Wherever you'd like, wherever you're comfortable. Right next to you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mikhail Fletcher. I'm a senior at Avid. Avid has really had like a big impact on my life and has helped me in so many different ways. Avid has helped me manage my time, properly take notes, and organize all my materials. Last year, we had the opportunity to tour 4 different colleges. It's the same ones that she talked about earlier. This really helped show me what I want and don't want in a college. For example, I learned that Madison is probably going to be too big of a campus for me, so I started looking at more medium-sized and smaller campuses like UW-Milwaukee. Going on this trip also was a great experience to be able to bond with my peers and my teachers. And I just really think giving the juniors the opportunity to go on this trip will benefit them so much, just like it benefited me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ava Esman. I'm a senior at Avid. By joining Avid, my high school experience has been nothing short of amazing. Avid has taught me life skills, time management, note-taking techniques, and many more. Last year, my junior year, my Avid class had the wonderful opportunity to be able to go on a field trip to 4 different schools: UW-Madison, UW-Platteville, Madison Area Technical College, and UW-Whitewater. During this time, we were able to take full tours of the campus and then learn all about what their vast amount of programs they had to offer. If it was not for this Avid trip, like Michaela said, I thought I wanted to go to UW-Madison, but I don't want to take a 30-minute walk across campus to get to my car lab. So I decided to look into some more different schools, and then I realized I actually wanted to go to UW-Milwaukee, which I am going to now. So overall, the junior Avid trip was incredibly impactful as we started to think about what our next steps were after high school.
Hello, my name is Anthony Marquezberg. I'm a senior in Avid, and I'm also sick. So if I stutter, that's the excuse I'm going to use. Last year, we went on the Avid trip. Before we went on the Avid trip, I was undecided in my career in what college I was going to go to and what even major I was thinking of going into. When we went, we stayed in a hotel overnight after we went to the first 2 colleges. First 2 were Platteville and Madison. I decided on Platteville because I thought about their engineering stuff, and I realized that like the guy that was touring us, he told us all about the engineering programs. I liked engineering programs, so I decided to go there. Went to Madison, got a free shirt out of it. I liked it a lot. I realized it wasn't for me. I'm not a big city kind of person. Hotel was fun. We were fed properly. And then the next day, we went to Madison Tech. I wasn't doing that, but there were a couple of people that we were with that told me that they signed on Madison Tech because of the college. And then we went to Whitewater, and I liked Whitewater too, but it wasn't my decision. And I think that it was just a good experience for everybody involved.
Thank you properly. We tried.
Hello, my name is Lillian Lover, and I'm an Avid senior. I had the opportunity of going on the campus field trip, and it was one of my favorite things Avid has ever done for me. I will be a first-generation college student, so this trip was crucial for me. At first, I really wanted to also go to Madison Technical College. I feel like a lot of seniors did. I realized there was way too much going on. I feel like I would get ran over if I just crossing the street. It was super busy. So after we visited Whitewater, I realized it was a very all-together kind of school. That was much better. Because of this experience, I was able to give information to my family members, even make my mom feel better about me going to college. Without Avid, I honestly don't think I would know much about the college application process because I'm a first generation college student. So all the college stuff really helped.
We do actually have some Avid seniors that are still interested in Madison.
Hi, my name is Kendra Barker. I'm a senior and have been an Avid for 4 years now. Avid has really helped me my 4 years of high school and shaped who I am today. My freshman year of high school was hectic since COVID was going around, but Avid kept me on my toes. Doing the binder, planner, note checks may have been annoying, but honestly really helped and made classes a lot easier. Tutorials have also helped me so much as well. If you're not familiar, it's a blue piece of paper that we fill out and present to small groups every Tuesdays and Thursdays and have our classmates help us with problems or questions we are stuck at. Tutorials really help me better understand classes I struggle with and help my classmates also better understand their classes. The last thing I really enjoyed that Avid did was the overnight campus day. I really enjoyed touring 4 different colleges, and one of the colleges we toured was my dream campus. Because of this field trip, I fell more in love with UW-Whitewater and even got accepted into Whitewater over the summer. This field trip brought our Avid class closer, and we are all just one big Avid family. It was a fun and awesome experience overall, and I believe every Avid junior deserves to go on this field trip. This is my senior year of Avid, and I can't wait to see what they have in store for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I went to Madison College. Why you guys gonna be like that? I also went to UW Milwaukee, so you guys are gonna have fun. It's good time. I had, I mean, I have no questions about the trip. Thank you. This was coming out right. It looks like a fun time. It looks like a good time for the juniors to be able to go and do that. I do have a couple questions. Otherwise, though, so in your guys' presentation about Avid, you guys mentioned a lot about college and the college experience and focusing on college. Do you guys do anything in terms of bringing in like other entities outside of college, military branch visits, or like blue collar jobs, you know, electricians and plumbers, HVAC, stuff like that?
Yep, so we are, I guess that's our bad if we didn't stress that. So our kids do all still apply to school just so that they know how the process works and in case they change their mind. But we have kids who look into apprenticeships to the military, straight into the workforce, I mean, all of it. And when they do their job shadows, I mean, they pick a huge array of careers that they want to see. So, I mean, it's just that post-secondary. Whatever they're going to do after high school is what we're going to get ready for. We just have them all apply just so they know how it works. Yep.
That's all I have.
I just have one quick question about Avid in general. So do kids ever enter the Avid elective other than in their freshman year, or is it pretty much only?
So we have kids that join their sophomore year.
Okay.
It's typically a little bit hard to join after that just because
Okay.
you've missed a lot. But if
Okay.
we have kids that transfer in from other districts and
Sure.
they would be like, they're interested, we'd take them, so of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. But it's generally, you're trying to get those kids in at the 9th grade level, is that correct?
Well, and we have a lot that do it in 7th and 8th, and
Okay.
then, you know, but then,
So is it an elective in 7th and 8th as well?
Yep. but like freshman year, we'll have, you know, in our classes right now, we have a handful of kids that have been in it and a lot that have not. So
Yeah.
we just kind of pick it all up and go
Yeah.
forward.
Do you ever have conflicts with students, maybe like in the music program, who really want to be in Avid, but they're already doing another pathway that kind of takes up that elective spot for them? Do you ever run into that, or?
I mean, at the end of the day with electives, they do
Yeah.
have to make choices. We have plenty of kids who have done band for 4
Okay.
years or other electives. Like
Okay, so it is an option
Oh,
for
yeah.
them to be able to do that.
Yep. Anything else?
Okay.
I just want to commend all the students. Great job.
Yeah,
presenting and
absolutely.
handling
Y'all did
experience.
great.
I mean, to be honest, when we told them, like, we were looking for students to come, like, they just jumped at it.
Yes.
They were really eager to share. So
y'all-
they are
y'all did
awesome.
Great.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's great to, you know, I always love hearing the stories about that first generation college student.
Yes.
It's near and dear to me. I know my father was the only one from his family who went to college, and I think really would have benefited had they had something like that in Avid. And the large reason he didn't is nobody just ever, he went to the military first and then went to college, but he
Yeah.
never even crossed his mind to go to college.
Yeah.
Because it was just never brought up. So I love the fact that we have that program there that helps the kids, that career and college readiness that we stress. And even if they go into the workforce and the career, and you know, Debbie, you know that too, that blue collar, they're still going to college in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Oh, we do need a.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say,
For the overnight trip.
to approve the overnight travel request.
Oh, go ahead.
I move to approve the Abbott overnight travel request as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Avid overnight travel request. I think we can just
Right?
do a
Nobody's
voice.
online. We
Yeah,
can
let's just do a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, great.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. How could they say no?
Sure, you got some from the location. Who got some of those? Yes.
All right, now we have our FFA overnight travel request.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Dave Cruz. For those of you who don't know me, I am one of the agricultural teachers and FFA advisors at Elkhorn High School. Per school board policy that we usually come to you in the fall with a blanket list of all of our plans for the year. We have a lot of neat activities that we offer our students as we go through the course of the year. So we do have a list of all the planned activities that we have that involve an overnight trip. In a quick nutshell, we probably do overnight trips for a couple of reasons. One is potentially for some of our conventions where our students are being recognized and check out those types of items. The other reason is that a lot of our leadership training programs and our leadership seminars are 2-day events, and then we travel for those events. And so those involve an overnight experience. And then in the springtime, some of our FFA contests, career development events, once upon a time, we used to be able to have them all in one location, but that is becoming harder and harder. So we travel farther and farther to make that happen. So as we look at some of those potential teams that we may have in the spring, some of them may need that overnight trip. I have no desire to do a 5-hour trip to River Falls on a morning. So those why we would put in those trips. I like that. Listen, I'm a Falcon. I get it. But,
More motivated.
yes.
than a student.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I still don't want to leave it too early.
I know.
All good. So we'll go through these very briefly, and if you have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me as we go through those items. We don't ask we basically just ask for the school district for support between our FFA and RFA alumni. We're very fortunate. We have a pretty good fundraising program. We try to offer these opportunities to our students at minimum fit at 50% cost, and then if they are participating, then they earn extra discounts towards all that stuff. So we're very fortunate to be able to offer that to them. So the first time it's on the list, comes up relatively quick, is the National FFA Convention that's coming up. Technically, the first day of it is actually on November 1st, so November 1st to the 4th. But a couple quick things for us this year. We have 2 teams that qualify for national FFA competition. In the FFA world, we have to be the state winning team to advance on the national competition. And I've been at this a long time. These are only my team number 2 and team number 3 that have qualified for nationals in our time here. So that's
Amazing.
we have a Wisconsin agri and farm business management team. So people like their kids that like to crunch numbers, so which is fantastic. And then the other one is an environmental science CDE team, so which is advanced. And so we've been working with them a little bit to kind of get them back in the swing of things so they can compete. They will be competing. We will be taking those, myself and Mr. Hudson will be taking those 2 teams early on Tuesday afternoon because they have to be there ready to go on Wednesday morning. The rest of our participants will be traveling with Miss Hart and other Walworth County FFA chapters on bus, and they'll be down there Wednesday through Saturday as we go through those. Some other things.
Let me interject really quick. David, because he wouldn't bring it up himself, but thanks to his efforts, he was recognized as the Energy Advisor of the Year. Is that what?
And high school energy educator of the year. Yes.
High School Energy Educator of the Year. And the national conference, I've had an opportunity to go there several times. It's amazing. 60,000 teenagers take over downtown Indianapolis and that whole area. And I asked the shop people, I thought, adults oftentimes are afraid of teenagers. I said, how do you guys fill out when the FFA comes in? Is it, are you glad when the kids, they say, oh, we host conventions all the time. We love the FFA convention. They behave so much better than the adults when they come in for conventions. So it's great. It's an awesome experience.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. 2 of our graduate students are earning the American FFA degree, which is the highest level of membership. So they have to have 3 years of agricultural education, and they have work-based experiences that are connected to agriculture, showing active levels of leadership and involvement in their organization and the community. So we have 2 of our graduate members who are earning that. The other thing that's a little bit unique for us is we are very fortunate. We have a community support group, the Elkhorn FFA alumni and supporters. In February, they were recognized as the top Wisconsin FFA alumni and supporters organization in the state of Wisconsin. And so then their application was forwarded on to National FFA consideration as well. They are going to be recognized. They're going to be recognized as one of the top FFA alumni and supporter chapters in the country. And they do not only great things for our community and our students, but as of late, if you've ever purchased a grilled cheese sandwich at the Grill and Chill, but they have been taking lead and trying to help promote and support all the FFA programs and ag programs in Lower County. So they've really done a great job of trying to facilitate and create some dialogue about that. So again, that's some neat things are happening for us at the national level this year. So that's what we got for there. Other items, the next one, November 16th and 17th is part of the National FFA Leadership Series. Again, this one's for freshmen through seniors. Again, it's a 2-day conference. They have some professional trainers as part of National FFA. They come out, they do some really neat things. They get a chance to interact with FFA members from across the state. Again, really neat one. That one is going to be in Green Bay. In January, we take 2 of our chapter officers. They meet with 200 other 200 other FFA chapters and their leaders, and kind of it is a halftime. It's, hey, you're halfway through the year. Where are you at, and what do you have to do to get your chapter ready to go for the next part of the year? Then we switch to February. This is a newer one. Last year's first time, but Wisconsin FFA, we have added a program called Wisconsin FFA Day on the Hill, just to help students to learn about the advocacy piece, about how do you interact with legislators and lawmakers, and how do you figure out what is your messaging, and how do you develop those relationships with these elected officials. We want them to realize that they're not some strange alien type people. They can have conversations with them and share those viewpoints. And so on that night of Sunday night, we go up and they'll receive training and talk about how do you interact and how do you build those connections. And then on that Monday, and I think that might be an in-service day for us. I think I'll have to go back and look. But then on that day is that we'll have a display in the Capitol Rotunda. So we'll set about our Elkhorn Ag program on display, and our students will have an opportunity to interact with legislators, whoever stops and swings by during that time. So that one is a new one that we normally don't have. The April 5th and 6th one, that's that question mark about what we end up for teams for River Falls. So part of our career development events, if they want to qualify, if we have teams that want to compete in that, they have to win that one to be able to compete at nationals. So those contests are there. April 11th and 12th. Actually, this is probably a new one as well, but we have a leadership conference for our middle school members. Up until this year, our middle school members could be 7th and 8th grade. But now at the national FFA level, this is the first year where we can open up to 6th grade FFA members as well. So that's a little bit of an extension as part of that mix. And then April 19th, 20th is our state environmental science contest in Rauschholz. And again, that's one of those things where there has to be a different location, just neat place. If you've ever been to the Lions camp up there, it's a really neat place. So great place for that. And then we wrap up in June is June 10th through 13th would be, hopefully we're taking 10 to 15 students there to compete, to be recognized, and at our state FFA convention. That's the overnight stuff.
I did feel like there were a few added. I mean, I know you always had a lengthy list before, but I'm like, gosh, this seems a little bit longer.
The Day on the Hill is a new one, and then just with that potential with that River Falls.
Yeah.
And those it helps having extra ag teachers.
Yeah.
It's a lot of weekends that those ag teachers give up to go and spend
no
time with the
kidding.
kids.
Yeah.
So very much appreciate it.
How many pumpkins do you have left?
We got a trailer full yet. Yeah, we'll be working on that too.
Okay. Well, we are looking for, are there any questions there, Mr. Cruz?
I don't have a question. I have a question about when we're going to these now. Do we have to do each one individually, or
No.
just one
No,
package?
just as a package. So, if no questions, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I move to approve the FFA overnight travel request as presented.
Second,
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the FFA overnight travel request. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, great.
Thank you for your
Thank
continued
you.
support. Thank you. Welcome to our FAO meeting.
Well, then, Mr. Forrester is here for the record too, and you're an aye on that, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
All right. COVID leave for employees.
At the last board meeting, we had an initial discussion related to COVID leave. I felt like we needed more answers to, several questions over there. So spoke with Taylor. She's our human resources supervisor. So I'd like to turn it over to her to go over COVID leave requests.
So in the last 2 school years, so this is beyond what was regulated by the DOL with that family first and all that leave. When COVID was hard hitting, Elkhorn Area School District was generous enough to offer staff extended COVID leave. So staff were not having to tap into their sick time or their PTO time when either there was a positive case for the staff member or if the staff member's family was sick. So staff didn't have to choose between coming to work or needing to stay home. And that financial aspect to that, because at one point in time, there was an isolation of 10 days, 2 weeks, and it's quite significant. Coming now to this school year, September 2023, COVID is of course still a thing, and the CDC is still encouraging and really almost requiring that 5-day isolation for positive and asymptomatic and positive and improving symptoms. Looking at those that have that positive case but still are not having improved symptoms, their isolation is still 10 days. So if we look at this school year, we have gotten some questions from staff to say, hey, unfortunately I have COVID, where am I at, what do I do? In looking at past data for the last 2 school years, when we had this COVID leave offered to staff, it was a peace of mind thing. The staff that were impacted were very, very grateful. The staff that were luckily not impacted were just grateful that it was there as a safeguard in case they were for their families. So in 2021, 2022, just under half of our staff needed to take advantage of the COVID leave before having to tap into their sick and PTO time. On average, 5.5 days. But then again, when we look back at the 21-22 school year, we were seeing a lot of 10-day isolation periods. If we look at them last year, our numbers of those that needed to use COVID leave dropped significantly to only about 20% actually needing to use just 1 day. And then we only had 3 staff members exhaust all the 10 days that were allocated last year. So if you look at this, our staff members, again, it was just the peace of mind knowing that they had it in case they needed to, so they weren't needing to choose between coming to work and staying home and going through all their sick time. We did allow for staff members who used up all their sick COVID time, needed to go through all their sick time, then exhausted all their PTO time, and were then faced with taking unpaid time. Because we had implemented that crisis leave, which basically said, hey, if your family's experiencing that crisis, talk with me, talk with Mr. Talbot, talk to Mr. Truman. We can then evaluate if you'd be eligible for extended paid time due to the situation that you're in. We've only had 1 staff member need to apply for that leave in the last 2 years. So looking at that, just out of curiosity, we pulled numbers from staff sick bank because we have a very generous sick policy to say every year, school year staff members get 10 sick days. Year-round staff members who work all 12 months get 12. You can roll those over if they're not used, and you can max 80 days in your bank. We do have select staff in our district who are eligible to bank 120 days due to their hire date. So we have a select portion of our staff who have between 80 and 100 days. Otherwise, if you look at our sick data, on paper, our staff have a pretty healthy sick bank. They have 30, on average, there's 36.5 days out of all, 470 staff, 36.5 days in that sick bank. If you take out those that are at max though, we found that the other 411 who don't have the max sick days in their bank have a sick day balance of 29 days. So now we're trying to balance out, do we encourage staff to use sick time? Do we extend the COVID leave? What's going to be ultimately the direction that we want to take as a school district? Kind of to round this out, It's the staff members who, and you see that we have four. We have four staff members who, as of today, don't have any sick time in their bank, but that's because they're at home with newborn babies. So they have the ability to be home on maternity leave. We have another group, of course, that's with that 6 to 10 days. That's a lot of our new hires and a lot of our employees with families at home that have kiddos that gets sent home sick from school and need to take through or use through their sick time as well. Jason, what did I miss?
I think you have that. I think you have it covered there. Our most vulnerable staff are our younger staff who haven't had time to build it up or have young families who have utilized paternity leave and exhausted the sick bank, or I remember when my kids were little and they get a fever at daycare, you have to go pick them up, stay home, and so forth. So, yeah. Any questions related to it? I think this
Yeah, is your recommendation to keep the policy going?
My recommendation is to allow staff just that peace of mind.
Those four individuals, so you said those are all for currently are on maternity leave?
Correct.
Okay.
Right now.
paternity or
Right, paternity and maternity. I'm
Yep.
sorry, yeah.
yeah. Is there an never mind. Is there one that doesn't reveal whether it's the father or the mother that's out? Immediately. Yeah, so that was the recommendation. I think when we look at the overall cost, benefit analysis, it's, I think the district being, leading the way and giving that extra protection to the staff, it really does help attract new staff, retain, and it's very much appreciated. I think it's well worth the minimal cost from the time that would be recuperated by, causing someone to forcing them to take on paid leave.
Do we give sick leave for anything else?
Do we what?
Specifically? Like, do we give sick leave for any other illness?
No, they get 10 days of sick leave for any illness, and then this was in addition to the.
Right, so yeah, okay, so there's nothing else other than COVID that's singled out.
There's a special.
There's a crisis leave, though.
Right.
The person can do.
Right. Yeah. And that's only after they've
exhausted
all other leaves. Right. Right, yeah.
And last year, we didn't have anybody have to do that. And the year before, we only had one person do that.
It really, to Jason's point, with our staff, and I really find with our new staff, I meet with all new staff one-on-one before the start of the school year, and we highlight just the different PTO, sick bank, and we did talk with each of them about crisis leave and just the appreciation that they feel walking in here to go, I can give it all at school and also know that my family is going to be supported on when I go home too. It's a level of retention, and it's very exciting to be able to share that with our staff and they walk away going, I made the right choice to join Elkhorn Aaron School this year.
I think that's it. We just need a decision from
motion
the
to-
board.
I'll move to approve the COVID leave for employees as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the COVID leave for employees. I'm going to do a roll call vote.
Adam, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart?
Yes.
Mr. Gatton?
No.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
No.
Mrs. Reckles?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Mr. Barkus?
Yes.
Mr. Forrester?
Yes.
Okay.
Passes 4-2.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you.
I'm just curious, how long does that last? Would that be until next year, or would that be going forward?
No, just for
For the
next period.
We can revisit it again
Mhm.
next year then, as I think, and it's not currently, I don't believe it's incorporated into the handbook, so. Revisit it. Oh, sure. All right.
Okay. Approval of the school board minutes. everybody in attendance at the closed session? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Last time?
Yes.
Okay. So we can do one.
But the students are not.
Right. Thank you. So we do need to do them separately. Yeah. Any comments or questions on the minutes that we need to, okay. All right, looking for a motion to approve the regular session.
I move to approve the minutes of September 11th, 2023, regular session of school board meeting as presented.
A second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the September 11th, 2023 regular session school board meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart?
Yes.
Mr. Gatton?
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Mr. Barkus?
Yes.
Mr. Forster?
Yes.
And
I'll move to approve the minutes of the September 11th, 2023 closed session school board meeting as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of the September 11th closed session school board meeting. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart?
Yes.
Mr. Gatton?
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Mr. Barkus? And Mr. Forster? I don't know if we've ever had two student reps pick it up that quick.
They're on top.
Okay. General and other fund bills.
The general other fund bills this evening covers checks number 150166 through 150293. Wire transfers 243 through 263 and ACH checks number 124 through 169. And the combined amount of $589,209.67. And then there was a memo providing some additional information on several of the bills in your packet.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Truman?
Bill, count them again.
I just had one question though on the Imagine Learning, that Edgenuity software license. Is that an annual?
I believe so. It's used for
Okay.
elementary level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Used to be Compass Learning.
Yeah, the name's changed.
Okay.
Changed the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Pick My Kid worked so well during COVID that it's just.
Yeah.
They liked
Continue
it.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
makes sense to keep with it.
They liked it and wanted to continue with it. I think it was, yeah, so I'll just leave it at that. Okay. They liked the orderliness of it, and the, being able to keep track of the kids. We had people who, I would say it was an area that I had not a lot of complaints from parents, but several complaints, especially from those that moved and were new to Elkhorn, like, well, how do you know who picked my kid up? Prior to having picked my kid. Concerns over, because they'd come from city systems
Yeah.
where they were more formalized. And with COVID, it was kind of a natural transition, and they like the,
I think from a safety standpoint,
Yeah.
it's a good idea.
so absolutely. So that's why they've chosen to continue that.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I move to approve the general and other fund bills of September 25th, 2023, check numbers 150166 to 150293, wire numbers 243 to 263, and ACH numbers 124 to 169, and a combined amount of $589,209.67 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the general and other fund bills of September 25th, 2023, check numbers 150166 to 150293, wire numbers 243 to 263, and ACH numbers 124 to 169, in a combined amount of $589,209.67. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Andre,
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart,
Yes.
Mr. Gatton,
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Mr. Barkus,
Yes.
Mr. Forster.
Yes.
Just want to share real quick, Pick My Kid, for those that don't know, it's a application that we use to match the kid with the parent or the grandparent, the person picking up the kids. So we have that accountability for it. Quick fun story, the inventor of the application went to pick, he's from Tampa Bay, Florida, went to pick his kid up at school, got down the road a mile or so, looked in the back and it wasn't his kid, it was a different kid. And thought, crap, I need to come up with something to fix the system. So that's how Pick My Kid was created. Thanks for that. Yeah, I just thought it's a funny story how the people go. All right.
Okay. All right, Fund 46 transfer proposal.
This is I think the third year this proposal has come to the school board. And let me give you a little background. The source of the funds through the proposal is part of the fees that we charge for outside groups to use our facility. So it comes in what's called our community service fund, and then our general fund charges them back for that use. So the funds right now are sitting in our general fund. And a number of years ago, the legislature started what they call a trust fund, or Fund 46 for long-term capital improvement project. So our school board approved establishing that in 2015, and there was like a 5-year waiting period. So we deposited, I think at that time, $100.
Yeah.
The 5 years went by. So it seemed to make sense from a school board standpoint, since these monies were generated through the use of our facilities and setting them aside for future capital improvements or needs as a result of that made a lot of sense. So if the board, took action and approves the transfer this year, we have a little over 76,000 in that trust account for capital improvement projects for the future.
Any questions, Mr. Turner, on this? You guys all understand what they're,
Yeah.
what the funds are.
Why is it Fund 80 on the spreadsheet? I'm just curious.
Because that's where the funds are initially deposited. 'Cause it's
Okay.
part of
Yeah.
our community
Gotcha.
service fund.
Okay,
Yeah.
so gotcha.
All right, if no questions, I'm looking for a motion to approve.
I move to approve the Fund 47 transfer proposal as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Fund 46 transfer proposal. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Andre?
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart?
Yes.
Mr. Gatton?
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Mr. Barkus?
Yes.
Mr. Forster?
Yes.
All right, student representative report.
Do you have a link to share or?
Should share it. Yeah, share it. It should have been like Sunday night or Sunday afternoon.
Oh, right there.
It's such a
No.
problem.
Oh,
Can you just reshare it with me quick?
What is it called? Captain Bear?
There you go. It's the largest road in the world.
It is.
Have those pictures.
They always got like giant smart.
They got them in New York though.
They do have those in New Jersey. They're just using the sewers.
All right, we're ready.
okay, go ahead. Oh.
Yeah.
Got it.
Sweet is Elkhorn's homecoming week, and it's filled with many homecoming festivities. The last one act plays are tonight. The Powder Puff games are Wednesday night. The homecoming football game is Friday night, and the dance is Saturday night. Also, on the left of the screen, the Elkhorn Young Athletes Program is starting back up, and it is a great opportunity for kids aged 2 to 7 to participate in activities to improve their physical abilities and large motor skills. And it's also a great opportunity for high school students to volunteer. And it's just a good experience and for everybody.
So did you guys dress up as celebrities today?
I did that.
No?
I didn't really have anything. I'll just, like, I'm old.
Thank you.
Tuesdays, dress like your grandparents. Wednesdays, like your teacher.
Oh, boy.
Thursday is dress your class decade. Freshmen are the sixties, sophomores 2000s. I don't even know what how do you just start on the 2000s? All right. Juniors 70s, seniors 80s. And then Spirit Day on Friday.
We'll go from left to right here. So the Patriot team enjoyed the weather by having their independent reading outside under the shelter. Both the Patriot and Explorer teams congratulated the 2022-2023 Tri-3 Honor Roll recipients. And Oakwood Area Middle School had the most attended party with over half the school attending and being entertained by DJ Felix.
On the top of the screen, Jackson kindergartners have been working on their alphabet and letters, and they've been using like I for ice cream and G for grapes and activities like that. And then on the left, second graders finished up learning about the properties of matter, ending the unit by building a cooler that was intended to keep a popsicle from melting. And then on the right, third graders, and this is actually third graders from all schools, so you'll see that. But third graders took a trip to the high school Ag Ventures program, and they were able to see many different animals and learn about many different animals. And that was actually hosted by Mr. Cruz, who was here earlier.
Yes. So on the left, it was Gotcha Day over at Westside, which is when students get caught for being respectful, responsible, and safe. And then, just like Kate said, a couple of third grade classes went out to high school for Ag Day to learn more from members of the FFA. And Picture Day is coming up. It's actually tomorrow, September 26th.
Tibbetts students had fun night, a back to school boogie event, and they also participated in the Ag Ventures program hosted by the high school and the FFA.
Along with the high school, Options was also promoting the return of Elkhorn Young Athletes, which are looking for volunteers for their second annual season. It's an inclusive program where children of all abilities are welcome to join. And they're also advertising the FFA's free family-friendly story night for the school force last Friday.
Career and College Academy, the Elkhorn Youth Build students continue to work with the Habitat for Humanity on building housing in Whitewater. And they also held an open house for the progress that they've made. And it seems that this has been an amazing opportunity and experience for both organizations. And lots of experience, I guess, for the students.
I think what's really neat about this youth build project is they're gonna get to see the completion of the house and go through all the phases of the house because they're partnering with Habitat for Humanity. Where the prior group, it was basically 2 years before the house was completed. So. And the house is not on the lake, whatever like that is.
Yeah.
So this
Maybe from a different.
that would be like the nicest Habitat for Humanity.
Great, thank you guys. Director's report.
Thank you. My name is Chad Ansel. I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator. Thanks, Jason. Before I get started on the presentation, I invited Katie Hoffman to come tonight. Katie, those of you that don't know Katie or haven't seen her in the desk out here, I did it for a few reasons. But Katie's also the district registrar, and she works with the district nurse, and then myself. So she wears a lot of hats. There's a lot of people telling her, like, can you help me? Can you do this? Or those types of things. But I think you'll see as we go on, the stuff that looks really polished is from Katie. I give her a lot of information. I give her an outline. I say, hey, I kind of got started on this. And when she goes, take a look, I'm like, that looks nothing like what I gave you, but it's amazing. So yeah, what Katie does is extremely important. It gives me an opportunity to actually be out in the community or at the school or, you know, engaging the kids with the community or vice versa. So without that, you know, there's a lot of time you can get stuck behind a computer and not really interacting and starting new programs and things like that. So yeah, I appreciate what Katie does, and I wanted to recognize her in front of you guys.
And I want to give a special recognition to her for driving over here in the dark. She from Burlington to here, so thank you.
So yeah, just a couple things, in the community engagement arena. We have been doing community engagement programs, adult education, enrichment programs, educational programs, and kind of building that as we go over the last few years. And we got to a point that Katie and I talked and said, maybe it's time to do an actual guide. Like, we're consistent enough, we have a good variety. So let's create a guide. So if you click on the link down below, Jason, we printed out some, but we mainly went with the digital form. And so as you if you want to just flip through that. Also, if you pass those around, Bill. Obviously it turned out really well, but I think we finally come to a nice variety of things, from physical activities to cooking classes, volleyball to soccer. Our autos class runs an autos class for like kind of basic mechanic stuff, changing your wipers, oil, tires, things like that. But in working with things like, I know if you could go back one, Jason, the Walk with the Doc program is through Aurora, and an actual doctor comes one Saturday a month, and they either walk in the high school or outside if it's nice, and people can show up, take the walk with the doctor. They always cover a certain topic, and then people can ask any questions they want while they're walking. Other than they do start with like, I'm not going to be diagnosing anything today, but you're welcome. So, yeah, but a wide variety of some educational stuff, some CPR classes. You want to just kind of keep flipping through, that's fine. Sign language, hiking. We also put in there the facilities that we offer. Obviously, not obviously, but our fitness center is open to our staff 24/7, but open to the public Monday through Friday. And the pool is open 3 days a week for lap swim. And then we get a lot of questions, a lot of people that call that are new to the community, or maybe their kids are just getting to that age to participate. You know, how do I get a hold of, do you have a wrestling club? Do you have a basketball club? Do you have a cheer club? And how do I contact those people, or how do I get my kids involved? So we also included that in the guide to give people kind of a reference of where to go if your children are looking for something. And then we wanted to recognize our civic organizations, certainly our VFW and Legion, who not only do the flags, but are always willing to participate in whatever and help out our school. I know they give a donation every year to the snack and a pack program as well. And then sometimes they'll come and pack those bags for kids. And then, yeah, our Park and Rec, our fairgrounds, and the chamber, who we work closely with, not only on programming, but all kinds of events. And then certainly we had to throw in there the noon whistle. Mr. Trottier said it had to be in there, is that right?
Well, yeah, I think he wanted to.
That's for making a drive at night.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we had like 80. But yeah, you can go ahead and close that. So this is one of the things we've been working on.
So how is this being distributed?
Digitally, and then we only had 100 made of the books.
Okay.
To just put in places like coffee shops and places people sit, so that they're out there if someone wants to look at it.
Okay.
Versus trying to print
Yeah.
a whole lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really thought it turned out well, and something that we've been kind of working towards for a while. Taking Care of Business, you've probably seen we had a first edition of the Taking Care of Business, which is our alumni who are within our school district who own their own businesses. And again, through Katie's suggestion, she's like, maybe it's time, since we keep adding them, that we do kind of a second edition. And so she took first edition and made it a second edition, which looks really nice. And I think nicer than the first. And kind of changed things up a little bit with the addition of a whole bunch, I don't know, probably 8, 10 along the way that we've added. And we keep finding more alumni that own businesses that we didn't know or we didn't think of right away. And people have been really helpful and not mean that they call and say, you know, I don't know if you know, so-and-so has a business, I didn't see it in the book. And that was a hard thing when we first put it out, because you don't want to forget anybody. But yet, you know, you're going to forget somebody, and it's not just you forgot, maybe you didn't know, or you weren't aware of it. So this is the second edition, and it's all the same that were in the first, except with the adding of more.
Great.
But yeah, again, this
one's 53 pages, so it
Yeah.
looks great.
Yeah, we don't have to go through all 53, but yeah, and I think that speaks to our alumni and our community, that not many people own businesses
Right.
in our state and still want to be engaged with our community.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, when you go out and you talk to them, you say, hey, here's what we're doing. What do you think? They're like, oh yeah, I'd love to be in there. What's it cost? And I think you may have even said that to me, Julia. And I said, well, it's free. We want to recognize you, your commitment to community. We also obviously put in there that you're a graduate of Elkhorn and that you graduated. And yeah, they're just like, oh, it's free. Like, really? And that's kind of exciting. And I didn't think people would ask what's it going to cost, but it's nice to say free. And then the Lakes Area Community Engagement Professional. So I've been doing this 5 years. This is into my 6th year. And as time's gone on, more and more schools have added professionals in the community engagement arena. And a lot of them have different titles. You know, some are community engagement marketing, some may fill an AD role in community engagement. And the more I started thinking about, like, gosh, we're getting quite a few people in the area that do this. Why wouldn't we have a group where we share what we do, best practices, things like that, and collaborate like other groups do? And so I gave it a shot. And to start out, people were pretty skeptical. Like, I'm not sharing what I'm doing. I'm not, you know, like, not outwardly, but the first time we met, I think there was 3 of us at the table. And it was like, yeah, how are you? Good. How are things going? Good. And over time, you can see it's evolved between Bigfoot, Williams Bay, Delavan, Wilmot, Elkhorn, Burlington. The Lake Geneva Library also has community engagement professionals that wanted to be a part of it. We're like, absolutely. And Badger. And not everybody makes it to every single meeting. We meet maybe every 3-4 months, depending on what's going on or what time of year. But as time's gone on, we try to limit it to an hour, and there's times where people are going on and on sharing things for 2 hours. Like, they don't want to leave because they're like, well, what are you doing on this? How are you marketing that? And it's been so beneficial and so interesting how people have opened up and went, you know what, if we're all doing good things, why aren't we helping each other do good things? You know, we all want our schools and community and kids to do well. So it's been neat getting to know those people and bounce ideas and have someone to call sometimes to go, hey, I noticed you were doing this. Why are you doing that? Or how are you doing that? Or how did it go? So yeah, this has been a really great group, and we're proud to say it started in Elkhorn, and we were able to help form this.
Yes, that's awesome.
I threw this in just because they found us. People have found us. I'm amazed at the calls I get, Katie gets every day of people saying, hey, somebody told me you do this. Somebody told me you run your facility. Somebody told me you host groups or you have these programs. And the growth in our auditorium, and this is outside. I mean, imagine our musicals, our concerts, our choir concerts, our bands, you know, all those one-act plays tonight, things like that. All of the places that we're currently hosting year in, year out, most of these have been with us like 2-3 years. And I just, as I looked at it, I thought, you know, yeah, they have found us. It's great to be the host or the location for these things. It brings in a lot of people. A lot of these dance groups, I mean, they'll bring in 500-600 people in attendance. And kind of an exciting one that just came up over the last month with Old World Wisconsin is releasing a documentary. And they reached out to us to say, hey, we want to do the showing there, like a movie, you know, movie theater. And would you be able to do that? And so I think, you know, those are really great things to bring to our community and that are in our community. So yeah, I just threw that in there as that's kind of exciting. And then last past Saturday, we did our first, I know you know about the Surgery Trail and the donations they made and the commitment they've made to that. So we did a candlelight walk and we put a whole bunch of bags with little lights on in them along the trail and invited people to come walk the trail. We had campfires, s'mores were available. And yeah, with 30, 40-ish people came through there, which, you know, you never know. You throw a party and you're like, well, there could be like 3 of us there that are working this, or there could be, who knows. But it was a really neat thing. Dominic and Joanne Sergi were able to attend, and they stayed pretty much the whole time. And so, yeah, they really enjoyed it and had other ideas about the trail and stuff like that as time goes on. But yeah, I just thought it was a really great give back. There's a couple pictures. Yeah, this was from the other night, and it was a lot of bags to put throughout the trail, but it looked really neat. And people, like I said, enjoyed the s'mores and campfire, and kids ran around and did their thing, but it was a nice night. So kind of shifting into the ad hoc committee, I just wanted to kind of give you an update at the end of this. And please, like Adam, Dev, and Kevin, speak up, because all you guys are involved in this as well. And it's been a great collaboration, but the arch just went up today. So I know we'd come to you and you would approve that and said, go ahead. And it was just put up today. And you can see on the top of the each pillar is where the plaques will be mounted. We don't have the plaques yet, but I think it turned out pretty nice. I think it was a good upgrade to that entrance where everybody goes through if you're going to participate on the field. And then we are working on our next project as the ad hoc committee, kind of a sneak peek. We're looking at utilizing that area between the auditorium doors. And you can see the top picture is what it is now. The bottom picture is the first rendition of covering up those, the bottom of the stairs, little paint along the stair, the white and the yellow, and then refreshing that wood that's there for what hopefully will be a really nice wall of honor for our alumni that have served or are serving in the military, as well as our community members who have or have served. They don't have to be alumni. I know the group discussed, and you guys were involved in that, and I think it was a really good thing. Why would we not include our community members who may not have graduated from here, but they've raised their family here, or they lived here, and they still serve? And so why not include all of them? So any thoughts from Kevin, Adam, Kevin?
I'm looking forward to seeing it. The mock-ups that you guys have, that we've been talking about in the committee, looks great. I love the fact that it's not going to be static, that we're going to be constantly updating it, because it's going to be, for those who don't know, it's going to be a TV screen with a touchpad. They'll allow us to be able to kind of search for specific individuals, family members or whatnot. And it's going to be constantly updated by the school. It's going to look really nice.
Similar to what McGuanago has, and
Yeah,
it sounds like.
Yeah, you can search by branch or year of graduation or name. Yeah, and the hope is that by using that space, you'll step into it and it'll be interactive, so you'll feel like you're in this kind of area, that this is what it's for. Yeah. Any questions?
Just thank you very much for all the work.
Yes.
Thank you. And again, a huge thanks to EDC. Wears so many hats and is so productive. Any digital media and a lot of that production, 90% of it's coming directly from KDC.
Our website.
Yeah, so.
Awesome job. Thank you.
Yes, thank you guys very much. All right, personnel. Oh, sorry.
Financial
Oh,
stability.
yep, missed that one, sorry, thank you.
We had our second meeting with the group, and I think it's the group's really been getting a master class on school finance from Bill for the first 2 meetings, giving that background information and knowledge. And when I say a master class, I'm also have gone through, and I have done my school business manager's license as well, and what he's presenting in these sessions are beyond, what I had at the grad school level and those classes, but just giving that background information first and really planning that foundation for the group to begin doing their work.
Are this recorded? Recorded.
Wait,
No, I
I don't believe so.
No, I don't think so.
They're just face to face.
You can log in. We've had it accessible, but I don't think we've recorded it.
Okay.
I was just saying, I would watch your presentation for education if it was recorded.
The other thing I could do, because I've got all the handouts and all the links, I can
Yeah.
share that.
That'd be cool.
Have that.
Yeah, that would be
I can
great.
Share that with the board.
Yeah, that would be great.
I think this week we're gonna start actually digging in a little bit more, right? It's a little less of the history and more of kind of where we're at right now, right? Correct. Yeah.
Next week.
This
Next
next
week.
week, yeah, this next week, yeah, I'm
Next
sorry.
Monday.
Okay, I was gonna say.
We got-
This next meeting.
Yes, thank you. Yes. Anything else to add to that?
No, I think it's all good.
Okay, now personnel.
All right, personnel sheet. We have a couple of resignations. Eli Timish and Ben Roberts. Want to thank them for their service to the school district. And then a number of appointments. Brittany Christensen joined the school district again. She previously did work as a school secretary several years ago. Faith Asplin Morgan as a special ed teaching assistant. Sandra Sanchez as a special ed teaching assistant. Chad O'Connor as a cook's helper. Kimberly Lash as a custodian. And Hannah Hart Goodness is transferring to a special education teaching assistant from the business office.
There's no questions. Need a motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the personal recommendation sheet for September 25th, 2023, including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the personnel recommendation sheet for September 25th, 2023, including new employment contracts conditioned upon passing the background check and district mandated drug screening. Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Roderick?
Yes.
Mr. Gayheart?
Yes.
Mr. Gatlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Ingersoll?
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles?
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow?
Yes.
Mr. Barkis?
Yes.
Mr. Forster?
Yes.
School gifts.
Okay. School gifts. I don't.
There's one.
Good one. Okay. We've got the one school gift. Michael Terrian has donated $100 for the creation of a vegetable garden at Jackson Elementary School.
Well, that sounds fun. Are the kids gonna take care of it?
I'll have to know the next.
And it's meant for my presentation.
Oh,
Just a comment at the end.
okay. Yeah, during announcements. Okay.
Are the kids gonna be taking care of the garden or what's happening with that?
Sounds like $100 for seeds. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to double check on that. Get back to
Okay.
you. Usually the kids are participating in this.
Sure.
When they grow that.
Okay, looking for a motion to approve or accept. Is
I move to accept the generous school gift as presented.
there a second?
A second.
So moved and seconded to accept their giant school gift. Thank you very much to Ms. Letarian. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. And announcements.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I forgot to mention with the arch, and you'll see it in this next time, but Bob Sladek donated and made that whole thing.
Yes.
Like every single
Yes.
dollar of it, and installed it, yeah. So I should have mentioned that when I went through that at the end.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And then there was a fundraiser for the plaque.
Correct.
But not voted, none of the.
Yeah.
Let's see, just a reminder, Jody sent an email related to bios for the website that had been requested from the
Yes.
board. So when you have a chance, go ahead and put that together and we'll get that up on the website. The regional WASB meeting is tomorrow night at Veterans Terrace in Burlington. I don't know, did anybody sign up for the pre-workshop? Okay, so then 6 o'clock, I know I'm going. Julia, anyone else?
Tuesdays are my days that I have
All
to
right.
get work done in Texas.
No problem. Julie and I will enjoy the workshop. Let's see, and then we've got a thank you card hyperlink from Nova Cross, two of them.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys took a look at it or took notice, but it looks like they purchased a brick. Thanking
Yes.
us for the approval, which was very over the top. I mean, that was really, really nice. They didn't need to do that, but
They're very excited, very
Yes.
grateful to get the opportunity. That's all I have.
I move to go to close, sorry.
You can move to adjourn.
Funny man.
is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. to adjourn.
The second?
A second.
All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Andre,
Emphatically, yes.
Mr. Gayheart,
Absolutely.
Mr. Gatton, Mrs. Ingersoll,
Yes.
Mrs. Reckles,
Yes.
Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Mr. Barkus,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
All right.